In this video, we're going to be looking at the worksheet for the free market for Module 4, and we're going to go ahead and review. So if you had trouble filling out this worksheet and scored kind of low, we're going to look at the answers and see what we did to what we can do to help improve that. So over here on the worksheet side, the first thing you'll notice is just put your first and last name in the correct order. And the first question says, what is a consumer? And list 10 examples of consumers. So before we go too far into this review, I think the important thing we need to do here is take a look at what the definitions for what a consumer are. So here we have two definitions. Consumers, a person or group of people, such as a household, who are the final users of products or services. Furthermore, we found another definition that stated the consumer is the one who pays to consume the goods and services being produced. So with that definition in mind, the correct answer, or a possible answer for this question over here, what is a consumer, is a consumer is a person who buys the producer's products or services. Now, notice there's a question mark here, so we've answered the first part of the question, but then it says list 10 examples of consumers. So here's some examples that we have for you. Possible consumer might be, the first example of a consumer is buying a phone at a Verizon store. So that's a possible example of a consumer, but that's only one. You need 10, so we have another example here. Here we can see here we have some Ohio State tickets. Another example of a consumer is buying tickets to an Ohio State game. Finally, another example would be a pool. Another example of a consumer is buying an in-ground pool from Watson's. So we've given you 3 examples, and hopefully you can come up with some more on your own. The next question over here says, what is a producer? List 10 examples of production. Again, let's start with a definition. A definition here. A producer, one that produces, especially a person or organization that produces goods or services for sale. One possible answer for what is a producer could be a producer is the people that make the goods and services to sell for a profit. I see I have a grammatical error there. Let's take a look at some pictures and some possible examples. Now again, these are just some examples. We want you to come up with some of your own. So here we have a coal mine. Another example of a producer are coal mines to produce energy for consumers. Alright, Dayton Daily News, owned by the Cox Ohio Publishing Media Center. This would be another example. Here we go, a Honda motorcycle plant would be a producer. So here they're in the showroom waiting for people to buy, but the act or the process of producing them from the factory would be a production. Here we go, good old farmer. One example of a producer is a farmer. They're producing crops, or if it's a dairy farm, dairy. Now let's look at this question. The free market system is the interaction between producers and consumers. In your own words, explain what is involved in this interaction between producers and consumers. Well, very easily, you cannot have a farmer's not going to produce crops unless he has someone to buy those crops. He's going to produce enough for his family or himself maybe, but then the ultimate goal in our free market system is to sell those on the market, and people will buy them. And when you're buying them, you're becoming a consumer. And so we want you to explain those interactions between the two. And finally, this question, you're going to have to go back to the video to watch it, but basically we're looking for the total value of all goods and services produced in the United States, and what was the value. We're looking for a specific number there. And what is the only nation in the world that produced more goods and services than the United States in 2010? Again, watching the video will give you that answer. And then finally, clicking submit. Make sure you click submit, and that is how you complete free market, the worksheet for the free market. Now at this point we have some more activities we'd like you to do. So if you will, click on the link to the website and then scroll right down, and you'll see what we'd like you to answer. A couple more questions about consumers and producers. Thank you. Alright, so after watching this video, we'd like you to go ahead and answer these questions right down here. Again, first name, last name, and then we just have some multiple choice questions we'd like to pick, and then kind of self-assess how comfortable you feel you are on the topics of consumers and producers, and then click submit. Thank you.